Hey, so in this video, I want to talk to you about how to start a coaching business. Now, this is a very popular question that I get asked, and I'm going to go through this and explain from my perspective and with all my years of experience coaching and helping clients as coaches build world-class coaching businesses and get to that $100,000 a month in revenue mark. I'm going to share everything I know, the most effective way to start a coaching business. Now, I speak to lots of coaches all over the world, and I have two very successful businesses, one in real estate, one as a business coach. And I can tell you fundamentally that all the rubbish and nonsense that is spouted out there is so much, there's such a waste of time, and so many people are getting sucked in this vortex of confusion and frustration and not really taking a step back and understanding the fundamentals, the basic principles that are required to be successful. Now, I want to ask you, and I need you to be very clear about this internally yourself, because this is very important. And I see a big mistake that a lot of people make, and they don't have the right mindset when it comes to starting or creating or even building a world-class coaching or consulting business. It's this, right? You want to run an expensive hobby or a profit business. You want to run an expensive hobby or a profitable business. Here's the thing, I see a lot of people tinkering. They're maybe interested, or they maybe want to do it, or they're really passionate about something, and they're going around in these circles and they're putting money into this business and it's getting them nowhere. And ultimately, all they're doing is running an expensive hobby because it's sucking them dry of money, sucking them dry of time, and they're not getting to a point of profit. Because profit is clarity, everything else is insanity. The only way to run or set up a business is to have profit. You don't have profit, you don't have nothing. And so I work fundamentally with business owners that are out there trying to create a profit. So that's the driving force behind everything I do. If you're out there trying to run an expensive hobby, then this is probably not the video for you, and you probably need to go and watch some other videos out there and keep chasing your tail and going around in circles. I'm focused on helping people build profitable world-class coaching businesses or consulting businesses and getting to 100K per month. 100K a month. Now, that might seem like a lot, but it's actually a good place to be aiming for, and it is possible for most coaches and consultants these days, if you put the right amount of effort in, to get to that $100,000 a month mark. There is enough problems, there is enough noise, there is enough people looking for answers out there that there should be no reason that you shouldn't be able to do this. I thought it was impossible when I first started, but now after being in the space for so many years, I know it's very possible. All you have to do is put in the right effort. Now, in order to run a profitable business, and I want you to think about this because this is the foundational blocks that you've got to understand or have in your toolkit, is that you're doing three fundamental things. You're obviously, as a coach, helping people. That's the first thing. We're all helping people get from a place to another place, the transformation. That's key to everything. However, from a business perspective, you need to look at this as a business building exercise. It's not just about helping people, because if you want profit, you have to have a business mindset and you have to have business processes and structures in place. And so these are the core ingredients that you need to run a profitable, successful business. So when you're thinking about starting, you need to start with the right foundations in place. And so here they are. So there's three core pillars you need to drive a successful coaching business. The first is equity. Equity is the value that you create. Equity is, and I like to use this analogy of, for instance, real estate, right? You own a property or you own a home, and say you're going to sell that home. Now, if it's increased in value, right, it has a perceived extra value. That value is called equity. So if you bought it, say, 10 years ago, and over time the increase of value has gone up, say, $20,000, $30,000, then you've created equity. That is perceived value. You got to create equity in your business, in your structure, in everything that you do. But without equity, you don't have anything. This is the value proposition that you have. This is what people are going to pay for to spend time with you. The next thing you have to have as a business owner is clients. Now, I know that's obvious, but so many people struggle with getting clients. You need to have a system for getting clients, and it's not just any clients, it's the right type of clients. Don't need to serve everybody, you need to serve the right people, and having the right clients is imperative. There's nothing worse than dealing with clients that suck you dry and don't add value to you as a business, and ultimately pull you away from good value clients. And ultimately, the main construct of all of this, and the third pillar, is control. Control. You need to have control of your business. If you want to spend a lifetime setting up a business that drives you, that you're always working in the business, feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, going around in circles, having the business drive you to the ground, then you lose control. You've lost control. If you want a business that you're working on instead of in, and you control that business, then you need to have control. And I'll talk about all these pieces in a minute, but these are the core pillars you need to drive a successful coaching consulting business to get to that $100,000 a month mark. If you're not making money, or if it's driving you nuts, or if you're not having the success that you want to have, you're missing one of these three components, or all of these components. So it's important to understand you need equity, you need clients, and you need control. Those are the fundamental building blocks to a solid, profitable coaching business and consulting business. Now, those are the three core pillars. Now, these are the 12 steps you need to take to get to that $100,000 a month mark. Now, I want to be clear, there's a lot here, but you don't have to do everything from the get-go. That's why it is in steps. If you go through the steps, you build a business, and I'll show you how the steps come to play, and you can put it into practice simply and make this work for you. But there are 12 core steps to running a world-class business and getting to $100,000 a month. You can't run a successful business without any of these. So if you're building a business and you have this mindset in place to be aiming for working towards these 12 steps, then you're going to be setting yourself up for a future of harmony, peace, and financial freedom. Because ultimately, this is where we're aiming for. And I like to have the context of starting with the end in mind. And right here, step number 12 is royal elevation. And what that is a system where you can have in place where you're working on the business, where you have other people running the business and you are just controlling the business. When you get to that point, it's a really good place to be. Our first coaching business that we started now literally runs by itself. I catch up with the team maybe once, twice a week. We discuss all the things that need to be done, and literally it's just repeating. It's a rinse and repeat cycle, and I get to coach people, train people, consult. I do all kinds of in that business when I want to, and it's literally looking after itself. So when you get to this point, this is a good place to be, and that's what you're aiming for. Have a business that doesn't suck you dry, that you can run, and it doesn't run you. But let's go back to the beginning. So I'll go to step one. Step one, $100,000 a month avatar. You need to have a client base, a niche, or an avatar that can give you the capacity to make $100,000 a month. Not all niches and not all avatars have that capacity, and there's a few ways we go about that to make that happen. But you have to be able to validate that niche or that avatar so that you can get to that point of having a successful, well-running business. Next thing, number two, step two, you have to put in place, and there's no doubt, I see people straight off the bat starting without having focus. You need to have optimal focus. So step two is having focus and clarity about where you're going, the direction, and then sticking to it. Because success comes from doing the same things over and over and over again until you get good at that thing. If you start running around chasing shiny objects and you never have clarity and focus, you never get up every day on that path and have discipline and stick to that purpose, vision, and goal, you end up doing what everyone else does, and you're just going around in circles, losing your momentum, getting overwhelmed, and then often, throwing in the towel. But those that get clarity, have focus, know where they're heading, and stick with it, and have a system in place to make that happen day after day, this is one of the core pillars or fundamental building blocks of a good business, right? So you have your avatar, you have optimal focus. Number three, you create a platinum offer. I know there's a lot of chat and yabba out there on the internet about what an offer looks like, what an offer is. And my perspective on an offer comes down to having something of high value that you can sell to people, right, at a high ticket price. And I say platinum ticket price, as in $5,000 or more, And we show our clients exactly how to create this. But you need a platinum offer, a core platinum offer. Now you can scale off of that, but if you don't have a core platinum offer, and I call it a formula, and I'm going to talk a little bit in depth about this today. When you have a platinum offer that you can sell for $5, $10, $15, $20, $50,000, it makes life so much easier. It's better to serve less people at a higher price point than to try and serve thousands of people at a lower price point. Lower price points are for scaling, higher price points are for building businesses, right? So you build off a higher price point and then you can scale on lower ticket stuff. That's how you do it. There's no better way to do it. I got stuck for many years thinking that should I sell a higher priced item or lower priced item? Should I try and hook people in? Should I do tripwires? Should I do all this? Eventually I just got sick of getting frustrated and I said, I'm going to create the top line offer. And I started, the very first offer I ever sold was $2,500. And I realized very quickly that the effort I put into that $2,500 was way more than what I was selling it at. So straight away I went into $5,000. $5,000 offer was my first offer that I started selling, and it started selling pretty quickly. In no time we started adding to that and we were selling $15,000 product. Then it went up to $25,000, then it went up to $50,000. So there was this incremental growth that happened around our platinum offer, our core formula. Next thing you need to have, and number 4, is cash flow confidence. I see a lot of people not being clear about their numbers. If you want to grow a successful business, start by implementing and understanding your numbers, because you'll never be in a cash flow position. You'll never make profit if you don't know what your numbers look like. Understanding your budgets, understanding what you're spending, your expenses and your margins, right? It's very, very critical to have a dashboard or a process in place to monitor your cash flow and be confident on how your money is coming in and going out. If you don't have that, you're stepping off on the wrong foot. And I know it's not easy for a lot of people to get clear about numbers, but we teach our clients that if you have cash flow confidence, everything becomes better. You know what you're dealing with, and it also then helps you with all of these other things, how much you're going to sell your product for, what that focus looks like, because now if you get cash flow, if you're making a profit, the confidence level that you have, the boost in motivation you have is insane, because you see the numbers, you see the profit, and you go, boom, now I'm in a good place. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep doing that. And all these other things start working for you. Step 5 you have to have is trust. I call this echo trust. You have to have an echo of trust out in the internet, right, into the ether. And that comes from putting yourself out there. As a coach or consultant, if you're not putting yourself out there, you're trying to be introvert, you're trying to be afraid of showing people who you are and talking about who you are, you're losing value, you're losing trust. It's a lot harder to build trust with an audience if you don't get out there and teach people, talk about things, get out onto social media. Now, we show our clients how to hack this to make it a lot easier, because it can get overwhelming trying to distribute and do a lot of content and do videos, all that kind of stuff. But we've simplified this, and you need to have trust. Trust comes in multiple levels. Number 6, you need to have an attraction process, right? You need to be able to attract people in and get them down the path to want to do business with you, right? A call to action, ads, marketing, the stuff that gets people to move forward with you. This is very important. This is where you spend a lot of your time and money in attracting, but it's the most valuable component, right? It's your ads or your outreach that you're doing to get clients. And then number 7, you need to be able to close. Now, I just want to preface this, that at point 6, you can build a very solid, successful business. And this is the starting point to building and getting clients. And you can get to $10,000 a month very easily just doing this, right? There's nothing stopping you just to getting these 6 steps going. But if you want to start growing and really elevating yourself and your business, you start working on these components. And this is closing, right? You need to be able to close, have a sales script that works for you. And we have in our business created a 5-question sales process. And it works really well for coaches and consultants, because instead of trying to pitch people, we like to get clarity on where they want to go and let them understand that working with us is far better than working with anyone else, and they sell themselves on the idea. So we sell based on a system that it's called SCORE. SCORE is a very powerful sales system that we've developed. that fits in congruency with all of the processes that we put in place, and it helps to easily close people and get people wanting to move down that path with you. Because when you know how to do this, what you're ultimately doing is you're amplifying desire. You're amplifying that desire for that client to want to work with you. When you do it the right way, it becomes very powerful. Number 8, you need to develop a system for advocacy, true advocacy, where people are out there talking about you and saying good stuff about you, and you can utilize that stuff in your marketing material. But I see a lot of people not knowing or not having a good advocacy system in place. And it's about knowing when to ask for that, right? Your testimonials, your reviews, people catching up with you on podcasts, getting them to say nice things about you, all that type of stuff. If you don't know how to do that, or when the right moments are to do that, how to do that, and the right questions to ask to get that happening, you're losing out on so much opportunity. And this isn't really a difficult process to do, to get advocacy. It's just something that needs to be put in place so that it can work for you over and over and over again. When you have a system like that in place, it's very easy to work with. Now, number 9, you're going to start growing a business. You're going to start getting money coming in. Your calendar is going to start getting really fully booked. If you're doing this right, it should start becoming overwhelming. It should. That's how you should be operating. If it gets overwhelming, you know you're in the right place, so you got to just keep driving it and keep driving it. Your calendar's full. You're doing lots of stuff. You're posting. You're doing this. You're doing that. You've got to start then looking at how you can systematize and automate. Now, I see a lot of people trying to build businesses and then jumping straight into automation. What happens if you start doing automation too early, things change. And this is when tech overwhelm drives you nuts, is when you start doing something and then things change and then all of a sudden you're doing it a little bit differently. My advice is to always, when you get going, spend at least 12 months building out the process. Know your process. Do not automate until you have process. Process drives automation. Don't automate until you've got a process. I can't stress that enough. I see so many people trying to automate everything before they even know what their process looks like, how they're going to streamline things, where are the things they need to get clear on. And so they're driving themselves nuts, worrying about tech this, AI that. AI is not going to save you until you know your process, until you know your systems. To spend a while going through cycles and getting clear on that, then you can start automating. Then you can put a team in place that can work with those automations, and you can drive a more profitable business, right? So you go from 9, automation, AI and automation, then 10, alpha team. Now, intrinsically, you can't have one without the other. They need to be working congruently, because if you do automation and it's not in alignment with what your team's doing, or the people that you're hiring don't know what that means or how it's working, you're going to get a lot of frustration and you're not going to be able to simplify stuff. So ultimately, as you're building a team up and you're getting an alpha team going, because this is not just about outsourcing and doing things that, to simplify your life. This is about building a team, your team around you, that's going to help you grow to that next level. They work together. Then finally, right, we're going to get to profit ascension. Now, you can't run businesses and scale businesses without more profit. You're going to get to a point where you're going to tap yourself and you're going to see, well, there's only so much automation I can put in place, and I only have so much money to hire X amount of team. I need to increase my profit margins. And profit ascension is vital, where you're looking at a few aspects of this. First of all, decreasing the cost of this through automations and streamlining your process, and trying to bring down your ads cost, and ultimately adding in profit layers at the back so that you're getting more revenue streams coming through, either through the front end, through lower ticket offers, or through the back end, higher platinum ticket, diamond ticket offers that you can sell, events, all this type of stuff that you add more value to the business as you're growing, right? So profit ascension then becomes very critical. And then finally, once you're making enough money, you look to getting yourself out of the business in a way that you can be running the business, being who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be the coach. You're supposed to be out there helping and transforming lives You're doing it all the time as you're building your business. Of course, you've got clients coming in there, but when you can go to a next level, that's where the magic happens, right? When you can get to a point where everything is automated and now you can be a visionary. You can go into other markets. You can start growing and expanding. That's the power of what you're trying to do here to get to that point where you're elevating yourself out of the business. I hope that's helpful. I know it's a lot, but this is the key ingredients to building a successful business. Is the 12 fundamental steps that you need to put in place. Now, I want to take it a little step back and we're going to start simplifying so that we can get a little bit clear about the starting points. And when you get the starting points happening and in place the right way, that's a good place to be. Now, that being said, we need some work tools. We need work tools to do the business. And so many people get so caught up with all this flashy tech stuff that's out there and want to dive into this new flashy shiny toy and that new flashy shiny toy and blah, blah, blah. I get it. There's a lot of cool technology out there, but you've got to start with the basics. But first of all, let's talk about this. If you want to build a successful business, if you want to start a coaching and consulting business and you want to do it the right way, you need to have these fundamental tools in place, right? You need your internal tools. Now, your internal tools are the mechanisms that you have inside of you, your mindset, your capacity to drive and be motivated and stick to path, right? So one of the biggest tools you need to have a successful business is commitment. So you need commitment. Commitment is super important. Now, you don't want to look at commitment lightly. Commitment is deep. Commitment is everything you have and are prepared to take, the sacrifices that you make for you, your family, your clients. Commitment is everything. People that don't commit are people that fail. It's a fundamental building block for business and life. You need this tool with you every day. You need commitment. You need focus. If you don't have focus, you're losing the battle. It becomes overwhelming. You become lost in this barrage of noise and craziness that's out there. What other people think, what other people are doing, and what else is happening out there shouldn't bother you. The more focus you put into your business, the better off you're going to be, the more successful you're going to be. You'll never fail if you stay focused and you keep committing yourself and sticking to one path. That's the reality of it, and that's where the success comes from. So always be thinking about these two things. And finally, you need to be full of persistence. You need persistence. Without persistence, none of these other things matter. So commitment is your commitment to the thing, your task, your business, your life, your family, right? You're committing to it. The focus is staying on path. The persistence is that you're going to face a lot of barriers. You're going to face hurdles. You're going to face things that are going to push you and resist against you all the time in business. So you need persistence. You need that grit. I suppose a good word for this is grit. Persistence is that get up. I'm going to keep getting up. I'm going to keep getting up. I see the end of the tunnel right there. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to push towards it. I'm going to keep going. Nothing's going to stop me. I've committed to this. My family's believing in me. My friends believe in me. My work colleagues or my staff, they believe in me. I've got to make this thing happening. I'm going to stick to the path and I'm going to make sure I do what it takes to make it happen. This is your most important work tools you can ever have. And I believe that if you stick with this and you have that in front of mind, you will not fail. Now you need external tools, right? Now, external tools, we can talk about networks and people around you, all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to talk, for the purposes of this video, the software tools that you need, right? Now, when you're starting, I don't want you to think that you have to get every bell and whistle, all the awesome landing page software out there, all the crazy gifts and gadgets and stuff that you need out there. You don't. The main thing you need when you're getting started is a calendar booking page. That's all. You can even just use a basic calendar. You need a way to manage and control the leads that are coming in and the bookings that you're going to get and how you're going to manage your time. Super important. You need a calendar and you need to be committed to setting up that calendar the right way and making sure you're not getting distracted off path from what's happening on your calendar. The other tool you need is a computer, a laptop, a computer, PC, Mac, whatever it is. You need to have a way to drive your business and be on top of things, because you'll use other types of software and stuff along the way. And you need to have a camera. calendar, laptop, camera. It's all you fundamentally need to get started. My first business, I literally had nothing other than that. My laptop had a camera on it, so my first sales were made off my camera, off my laptop. I was talking to people. I didn't even have a camera like I have today, and it made me money. It made me my first $100,000 I did on a camera laptop. I kid you not, and a calendar. That's all I had. So I was doing everything manually from the beginning, and it worked super well because I had mindset, I had process, I had systems, and I thought about just being committed, right? These were my tools, and that's all I needed to get started. Now, obviously, you're on with your laptop, you're on social media, and you're doing things to attract people and get yourself out there, but you don't need anything more than that. That's all you need to get started on a business. And that's how easy it is to get started in a coaching or consulting business. That's the beauty of this, what we do. Now, your marketing tools. As somebody that's starting out in a coaching and consulting space, you need some marketing tools. Now, everybody gets all crazy about this stuff because there's so many different noises out there about what's the right way or the wrong way or the best way or the perfect way or the worst way to get clients and all that nonsense. I'm going to tell you one thing that I would love for you to take on board. It's my perspective, but I think that it adds super value to your journey as a coach or consultant. It's this. Right now, there are 3 major platforms out there that are driving the most traffic. They are the only fundamental tools that you will ever need, and it's for the last 20 years been the same tools, right? Probably not as long as 20 years, maybe 15 years. It's been the same tools, right? And these tools have got enough client base for anyone to make $100,000 per month. There's enough client base out there, right? It's Google. Google has 130 billion views a month, 150 billion visits a month. YouTube, 78 billion a month. These two alone drive more than 200 million visits a month. And then Facebook, which drives, I think it's 12 billion a month. These are the dominating forces on the internet. There's no reason to start your business outside of these. If you get good at just one of these, you're going to have the success that you're looking for. Fundamentally, this is your client base. You don't need to go anywhere else. You just need to get good at all the stuff that I've been showing you and get good at one of these platforms. And I recommend a good starting point right now for coaches and consultants, because I believe the algorithms are in our favor and the cost to acquire clients through this platform is really good. Is YouTube. YouTube right now has a huge share of traffic. People are going there to do search, they're looking for results, and this is a really powerful way for you to build credibility because people go to YouTube to look at what people are doing. When you're out there on YouTube building credibility, it makes a huge impact. And then once you get good at this, you can filter out to these other two. But I suggest using YouTube as one of the foundational building blocks for starting a coaching or consulting business. Now, some people might say like, well, I don't want to do videos. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Well, if you get good at this, if you don't get good at this, somebody else is going to take your spot. But if you get good at this, you're going to lock in your spot and you're going to grow over time, and it's going to add value to yourself as a coach or consultant, and you're going to be building trust in your business. So fundamentally, this is the most important aspect, marketing tools. Don't get confused and dragged into all the other stuff that's out there right now. If you can get good at just one of these 3, you're going to crush it. Now, I know some people might think that LinkedIn might be another option. Yes, I think LinkedIn is a good option, but if you start here, you can go into those more easily because you're going to build trust and credibility, and that's what you need right now. As a starting point, you need trust and credibility. This is the best way to do it. It's harder to do it on Facebook. It's very difficult to build trust on Google because people aren't seeing you visually, and on Facebook, your posts disappear, so they're not upfront all the time. But when it comes to YouTube, people are searching for specific things. They're going to see your stuff coming up time and time again. That's much more powerful. All right, so here's the thing. We're going to get started. So to start, now what would be the incremental steps you need to take to get started? This is what this video is all about. The starting point is really the basics, right? And getting these right means you're going to build a world-class coaching business. We zoom out a bit and we look at this from a broader perspective. We look at it like this, right? To get confident and to build yourself as a world-class expert, you're going to have to go through some cycles. And these cycles are to get clarity on the things that you're doing, feel confident about what you're doing, and to make the changes to the foundations so that it works for you. Here's the thing though, the very first step you need to do is you need to get clear on your avatar. Your avatar is everything, right? Who you serve, why you serve them, what are they looking for, what drives them, what motivates them. I speak to so many people that have no idea who their avatar is. They think they know, they think they've got an idea of what they want to do and how they're going to grow a business. But when you sit down and you speak to people and you ask them about the clarity on their avatar, people get very confused about this. I was talking to one of my clients just the other day, and we're talking about the avatar, and he was telling me about his pain point and about this and that and that. And after his conversation and after me listening, I showed him and explained to him how what he just said portrayed 4 different avatars. He wasn't clear. He wasn't getting very clear on his avatar. And when we started our first business in real estate, we had, at the beginning, I thought we were only serving one avatar. This was the mistake that I made. It became very clear to us that if we didn't understand these avatars, we weren't going to be making money because we were going to just be confused and frustrated and going around in circles. And so we ended up with a distribution of 4 avatars. 1 avatar we didn't want to work with, and then 3 that were kind of good avatars. These were the ones that had money, they were prepared to invest, and they wanted to do things further with us down the track. So, in the beginning we thought we only had 1 avatar, but it turned out we had 3, but we needed to get crystal clarity on who those were so we knew how to speak to them, how to get them over the line. You need crystal clarity. You need to know their age, their demographics, all the stuff, as much information as you can gather around them as possible, because that changes everything. The more clarity you have around your avatar, all the marketing, all the business development, all the training, all the stuff that you do, it builds around that, your business becomes so much easier. Seriously, the clearer you are on your avatar, the easier your business will be to build and grow. So that's number 1. Number 2, you want to have a formula, right? Now what do I mean by formula? A formula is this unique process that you have that no one else does. It is a formula. Now, I like to use this analogy because it really paints a clear picture for me as to how I like to present what I sell. Now, I've been going to gym for many years and I buy supplements, and I love the supplement industry in how they present supplements. You can go to a supplement store and you can look along the shelves, and the differentiation between those supplements, right, where you look at one bottle of magnesium and then you look at another bottle of magnesium, what differentiates them is the ingredients, right, what goes into it. So they have this formula that they've developed, and they attract you into that result based on their formula, what ingredients they're putting into it. So you need a formula. I think that if you want to be a successful world-class coach, you need something that sets you apart from everyone else, and I believe that a formula is the best way to do it. If you present yourself in a way like the supplement industry does it, you have your own bottle, your own package with your own special ingredients in it. No one can copy that. It's magnesium, right? But you've got a super special way of putting that magnesium together that no one else can do, and it provides extra performance. That's how I look at this. And so once you have these 2 parts together, your avatar and your formula, they work together. Obviously, you're providing a solution that they're looking for, right? If you can get healthier by eating vegetables and, eating well, go and doing your exercises, slogging it out every day, lifting weights, running, whatever that is, or take a pill, and all of that happens instantly. Most people, I'd say 99% people, so long as the pill doesn't cause damage, they would take a pill. And that's the thing. People are looking for this type of ingredient mixture thing that can help them get the success that they're looking for. When you get this and you know how to put this together, it's going to be game changer for you. Right, now you've got these 2 pieces, and by the way, your formula doesn't have to be a full training or coaching program yet. When you get started, you can create the framework, the baseline, start understanding what your ingredients are. For instance, I have 12 ingredients in my formula, and they work really well. They're the exact ingredients I need for my clients to help them build a world-class coaching business or consulting business. Right, so now you're going to start working on your cycle, right? And your cycle consists of fundamentally doing these things over and over again until you get really good. The first thing is you need to build trust, right? So this would be 3. You need to build trust. So you've got your formula and you're going to start talking to people about this formula. And you're going to show them how good you are at understanding your formula and giving them clarity on how they can start changing their lives. How they can go from where they are now to where they want to be, right? So they're frustrated, right? They're frustrated to, or let me put it another way, 0 to hero, right? Your 0 to hero journey. Frustrated to awesome, whatever that means, right? And in the middle here, you've got your formula, and that helps them get to where they want to be. So what you do to build trust is you start teaching people about your formula, how it works, what it looks like, what the ingredients are, what the pieces of the puzzle are. And this is going to be an incredible boost to you as you're building your business. The next thing is you need to put this in place. You need to attract, right? You need to attract people. And this is when you're going to start doing outreach or paying for ads. Right? You're building trust. The next layer is to start doing outreach or putting ads in place. I recommend, if you're getting started, start looking at what you can do to get good at ads. If you can get good at advertising, your whole life becomes so much easier, because outreach, as much as it's good and cheap and more affordable, it's not scalable. And if you start with that place, then it becomes really harder, because you still got to come back and learn how to do ads, because ads is a fundamental building block to scaling a business. The next, you need to close. So once you're attracting people, you start getting them on your calendar and closing them, right? You're building trust. You do this for a while. You start building out a plan for you to start attracting people. Then you start looking at getting them on a calendar, right? Your CTAs are happening over here. Your CTAs don't happen down here. Your CTAs happen over here. You get them on your calendar and you start learning how to close. You build a score script. You build a sales script. Well, I call it a score sales script, right? And we have a process for that. I will discuss score in further videos that I do. You create a script, a sales script that works for you, that you can use over and over and over again. Our score selling script is 5 powerful questions to ask to get people over the line. And then the last thing you need to get good at is advocacy. Advocacy, getting people saying nice stuff about you, and then you can start doing the cycle. Oh, the cycle's going the wrong way. You get what I mean? It's going this way. So trust, attract, close, advocacy, and then you keep doing this. Now, those are only a few things you need to put in place to get started. To do this, you get out and start making videos, right? So you built your avatar, you got clear about your avatar, you have a formula with all your ingredients. How many ingredients you put in is up to you. It could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. I have 12 ingredients that make up my formula. You build trust out of this formula. So everything you're teaching is about your formula. You teach people about your formula. You show them exactly how it works. You build you show the bridge between 0 to hero. You then start attracting people and putting call to actions in place, right? This takes about, say, 60 days to get all of this happening really well. And then you start working towards that, and that, right? This is how you start a business. You get this loop closed, then you can start really seeing results. Your calendar's getting booked. You're opening up your whole life to making money. And now you go from 0 to hero, and that's where you want to be, okay? Now, that's a starting point of a business. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's closing that loop and just keep doing that. Few cycles, few months, you're going to get good at it if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Those fundamental steps. Then the magic happens, right? At some point, you're going to be making 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month. Now, you'll get to a level where you notice, right, at 10 grand a month, you can have about 80% profit margin, right? That's kind of where you're going to be at. You get to 20K a month, you're going to be running maybe around about the same, because most of the stuff you're doing yourself and you're outsourcing some of the stuff. But then you're going to get to a point where you're going to get to about 50K a month, right? Now you're going to need to look at what your hiring process looks like, how you're going to build your systems, because now you've got to elevate yourself. And at this point, it's going to be, I'd say, fairly overwhelming. your profit margins are going to drop to around about 65-70%, right? And you're going to have to get people to start helping you do stuff. The mindset that you have here, the processes that you have here that get you from there to there are very different from the processes that get you from there to there. Because now you have to start being smarter, and you have to start thinking about how you're going to take it to that next level. Because getting to that 100K a month, you need a lot of systems. You need to drive it, you need to automate it, because it's very, very difficult then to do it all by yourself. You cannot, it's probably near impossible to do everything all by yourself. You need to start thinking about teams, right? Now your profit margin will drop to around about 60%. Now these aren't absolute figures. These are just kind of broad figures that industry specific. And this is what happens. At 100K a month, you're making about a 60% profit if you're doing it all right and you have a processes and systems in place. But at this point, right, you've started your business, you're starting to grow your business, now you're scaling your business. Your mindset, your processes, systems, you need to have your alpha team in place over here. Remember I was talking about this in the beginning? This is the stuff you need to get really good at to get to that $100,000 a month. This is the stuff you can do to get you started and get you to a good place, but you need to start really thinking if you want to grow and scale, you start taking it into this next level, and this is very important, and it can take you to that $100,000 plus when you get this all right, okay? And always, always, always have this notion or this idea that you're working towards you, right? Elevating yourself. You're in the place where you're in control of everything, right? And you're running the business. You're working on the business, not in the business. Let the business be your leverage so that you can live the life that you want, right? Elevate yourself so that you become the leader, the coach and consultant or expert that you're meant to be. You can get out there and do more things, make more impact when you've got control, right? Now, I hope that's been of value. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe. If you want to come and join us and be part of our Coach Launch Formula and learn all of this stuff in more detail, how to launch, grow and scale a coaching business and consulting business faster, then come and join us. My name is Matthew White. Thank you for joining me on this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.